Peace.
Islam.
Islam Noble.
Sheik.
Islam Noble.
Hey, Sheik, well, when you want to discuss that though?
You got to tell me. You got to tell me what you're trying to do. You know, with your son, because you know I work and I got a busy schedule too. You got to tell me what you want done and what he's trying to do. You know, and the hours, because I don't know where he want tutored and what he's trying to get tutored on. Send me an email, let me know what he want to be tutored on and where he's struggling at, and that's how I can help. So give me some more information, and I can help you out. Like, I don't know where he needs studied at or whatever, so just send me a message like this where he's struggling or how I can help you, and then we can communicate like that. I'm here every day, Noble. All you got to do is send me email. I'm going to respond right back to you.
All right. I'll log back in.
Yep. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know what he need to be doing, what he's learning. And if I can't help right out initially, I can introduce you to a lot of other people that rock with me, educators that can help him out as well on his journey.
Right.
It's a team effort, man.
Okay.
He getting ready. He going to college, you said, Noble? I think he must have
logged. He said he was logging out, logging back in.
Who said that?
Empress.
Oh, that's you, babe?
Yeah, it's Empress. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. See you
How
on my cheek.
How was that for you?
Man, that boy was delicious.
I bet it was.
Absolutely delicious, boy. I'm gonna send some get some color pictures so you guys can see, like, actually the coloring and whatnot. Like I said, one day, I know it's a lot to ask everybody to come this way, to California. But
no, it ain't.
Maybe.
No, it ain't, Noble.
To find somewhere where I can, maybe halfway or Texas or I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
I can do one. So. We'll figure it out. But it was good. It's a good time.
I bet. No, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marsha's gonna try to hook them up there.
So we give everybody a minute to log in, and then we'll get started. I think we wait for Noble Malik.
Islam. Peace.
Oh, there go Noble.
Peace.
Peace, everybody. Peace. Give everybody a minute.
Heard, huh? When you went down to visit Sheik, huh?
Yeah, you're out of know.
I know that shirt.
Okay.
Who that, Brian? Looking Noble. Yes, sir. Islam. So let's give it a second, man. Noble Malik, you still probably co-host, so I'm sure. Let me take myself off that.
Islam, Noble Dante. Peace. Islam. Peace, Noble.
Yep. How your body holding up, Uncle Dante?
Legs recovering, legs recovering. Y'all normally stretch before or after the workout?
Definitely after.
Yeah.
That was that stretch we did.
Y'all normally stretch before or after the workout? Gotta get both.
Oh yeah, y'all almost say both.
That was an echo.
Yeah. But I always recommend stretch all through the day. Stretch before you work out, all through. Like, it's not like working out is not something that we do this every day, all day. So you should stretch continuously. Even when you're not working out, you should continue to stretch before you go to bed, all that stuff. Stretch. That's loosening up your kundalini.
Islam, Empress LaShawn, peace.
Islam. What's up? Nice shirt. I like that shirt.
Yeah, I like it as well.
Peace, Nobles. Peace.
Peace.
What time is it? All right, it's 2:03. I like to get started about like 2:05, 2:06 to give everybody a little grace period. You know how everybody is, so relax, get your pencils and papers, get you some juice. And
everybody look great spirit. You know how everybody is, so
I hear a little back. I think that's you, Empress. So give everybody a
You
second.
got too high tech back there.
For me,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for calling him out. He be over there, you know what I mean, doing all
all kind of stuff
AI
back there.
screens going on in the back. He's like, what is Malik doing? And how's his background changing every 5 minutes? See,
What?
I gotta watch him, man.
hey, knock it off.
I have to hit Sheik up.
Right.
Lonzo gave us all those. I just stored them in my computer. So when I wanted to use the background, I could change the background.
Let's do our Morris American prayer. Anyone?
Everybody got that little background. Okay. All right. I see y'all.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashe, Shalom Aleichem, Ashe, peace, peace, peace.
Islam.
Peace, Islam.
Hey, Noble Dantes, I'll send you the, can I send Noble Dantes the background so that way
Yep,
when he has his, you can put the backgrounds up. You know?
absolutely.
Okay.
So before we get into teaching, I always like to give a little subtopic and, to share what's going on. And if anybody that's joining us on YouTube, or if they see this after it's viewed, they can understand what we do. When we have Adapt class Saturday and Sunday, those are scheduled teachings. That's the only time we ask for donations. You don't have to be a member, but if you come to Sunday school or to any organization, I will hope you will give a donation. But with us, the donation ain't just to hear me speak, which is a gift. You also get literature. So the topics that I speak on, I give the literature for the donations, and I help you build your library. So today, for today's teaching, what I offer right now, if everybody got different phones, look on your phone, look up this book called The Unknown Arab by Tariq Berry. You probably won't even find it on Amazon. It'll probably say it's not available, and other bookstores don't have it. It costs about $1,500. You will see some more on Instagram just holding up the book, but don't have the resources and withal to let our brothers get the information for a small fraction of the dollar that other platforms try to sell. And we act like people can't get the books. We converted books to PDF just like the powers that be have. And we offer them for our people for a fraction of the price. Our company, mypdfbooks.com, where you can go on our company webpage, that's Books with the Z, and look at all our books that we have, PDF. You can send an email to Office Max to Staples, and they'll print the book and bind it for you for a small fee. So you probably on Amazon right now, Noble Malik, and the book is probably what? Not available, right?
No, not available.
What's the author's name?
His name is Tariq Berry, TARIQ BERRY.
That's right.
I tell you, I got all these books hard copy. I know how much they cost. All of them I got donated from professors before they was passing because their kids wasn't into the science. I got books that cost thousands and hundreds of thousands.
Let's see.
And probably on Amazon, they probably have the book, but they don't have the picture of the book.
No, yeah, right. It's like a text.
Yeah, I know.
The picture is with a so-called Arab.
Yeah.
Looking like us though.
But y'all got the book. Y'all got everything. Right?
Yeah.
Y'all got the book, right?
Islam.
Okay.
I'm not 100%. Are y'all sure?
Y'all should.
Hold on.
We had the link to the Unknown Arab, but I don't know about. We actually got this book.
Let me tell you why y'all should have it, because it's on our company page. It's on mypdfbooks.com. Y'all should have it.
Wow.
Let me see.
Wow. Gotta look again.
Everything on my PDF books, y'all should have. If not, you should have got it from me. For we can have for reference. Because there's certain things that I'm gonna say when people be talking about him, y'all gonna be like, you have. Just like when Lamar, people be talking to him, and Lamar be like, oh, you talking about this? It's nothing new under the sun. It's just, are you initiated? So if you don't, hey ma, peace ma.
Mom,
Peace,
Empress.
Mom. Peace, Mom. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
Right?
Peace.
So also,
Mr. Daddy.
where dad at, ma?
What's up, Curry?
What's up, dad?
Not Kareem.
Who that is?
That-
No.
Wait, hold on.
She.
Where
What's
dad?
wrong?
Where dad? There go dad. Oh, I don't see y'all face. But y'all should have that piece of literature. Noble Dantes, you a member. That's what the luxury of being a member, where you get all these things for me for a fraction of the prices. And you can compare and contrast.
You want so they can see you?
No literature should cost. No literature should cost. Ma, I can hear you. I can hear you, ma. Mute yourself. Also, another piece of literature while you on Amazon that y'all can look. Tavistock Institution of Human Relations. That's by John Coleman. Tell me how much those books cost.
Yeah.
And they all those books are used. They from
Oh, yeah,
owners.
we have it. Unknown era. We got it.
I
It was
know.
sent on 6/21. Oh, last year though.
Yeah. And so when people be talking about things saying you can't get stuff, only people that can't get stuff is people that's not initiating, educators. This stuff is free information. Nothing is hidden from us. We got to stop using words that say something is hidden. Nothing is hidden, and it's nothing new under the sun. Right?
There's line.
And so this when I say they are printed in book form like this. So if we say we Moors and we into reading books and all that and studying, if you into this, we should support this. You should come to the lectures, and for a fraction of the price, when you give your donation to the teachings, you get to get these books that I'm offering every time I speak. Isn't that a win-win?
Yeah. Win. If the more wins.
And the free gift, Noble Dantes, the free gift is the literature we're speaking on today. The black man,
Islam.
proven by biblical history, the father of civilization. It's no hate, it's no slander. Stay in context. I know black this and all that. So when I be speaking, man, don't get all caught. Well, black, we know that. Stay in context. Because you know what's worse? Excuse my candor. I'm always speaking. This is just my analogy. You know what's worse than, excuse my candor, a nigga? Please say what?
What?
Two of them.
Two of them.
And only reason why I say this, like Kevin Gay said, only reason why I say it because I've been doing business and our own people be the only one hating. Our own people be on in kids' inbox on Instagram playing basketball, and these little kids' inbox hating. Our only people be on people's inbox talk about what they don't like what somebody got on, or they don't like this. Our own goofy people. Our own people. I ain't got that from no Europeans. That's what and people be, but why you say that? Dude, man, please, if you on social media, go in the comments and see all the negative shit and when people be doing positive things. Look at the comments. Grown goofies. Tell me I'm lying.
No, you right. You straight on that information.
I know.
We just had this conversation last night with somebody I've known for over 20 plus years that we grew up in the same church, and we had a real good dialogue yesterday. So I'm gonna invite him pretty soon to class. But we were basically talking about that factor.
Yeah. And watch this, Noble. And watch when we talk about connections. When I say Noble Malika had water for $1, and then his own people will promote somebody with water for $3, and Malik got the same water, same quality. That's why I said we look in the mirror and hate ourselves when we talk that Black Lives Matter, because I'm not against nothing. I'm with everything that's positive. But black lives don't even matter to black folk.
Right.
Excuse my candor. Fuck you mean? My brother was killed by a nigga. And I'm gonna say that till the day I die. All the shit I got is from niggas. Period. And if a person don't like what I'm saying, I don't care. I ain't here for no likes or no followers. I'm a grown man. I'm 45. My mom and dad on here. Please. You see this right here? This right here, this is how they take our information and try to put it so high. This ain't nothing but a Marcus Garvey letter. Look how much they sell it on Amazon. You know what a letter is? Here go the letter. So when you're educated, when you connected, I have everything. So why would you go somewhere and pay $3,600 for this frame? My mother is an artist. She put it in the frame for you if you want it in the frame. All this stuff but pictures. How can Amazon sell you a copy of something and then when you write them, they say, is that original? How can it be original? How? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. We have what we need with each other. We got to support our people. If you're in the reading, if you're in the studying, if you're in the science, why would you go anywhere else? Why? Why? From this day forward, if you wrote books or anything and you connected, why would you go somewhere and be like, well, I'm gonna go spend some money and there and be like, oh damn, I didn't know you had that. You're supposed to always think about your brother in those situations.
Wow.
And that's why we don't have nothing as a people, because we're not willing to sacrifice the source, for the source can have something, for the source can spread something as a Buddha. The source supposed to be able to take pennies and make dollars and spread it on the community. Man, that's how we change our neighborhoods, man. We don't got to complain. The church, that's all we own. That's all black folks ever owned in their life was the church. We taxes in for the government. We can support this with donations. And now we learning. It ain't me just up here preaching.
Learning how to apply what we had, you know what I mean, when it comes to the church.
Man, we teaching our divine creed and our nationality, and our spirituality comes first. That's number one. Your religion and who you are, that goes together. History, law, and spirituality, that's synchronicity. It all goes together. It must. So let's get into the teachings, man. Islam?
Islam.
We support our own. I say that all the time, like, man, I'm gonna support my own. So whenever you're ready, Noble, I'll read the preface. I'm reading.
What document we pulling up right now? That's
the Black Man, the Father of Civilization, proven by biblical history. We Moors, we don't go against the biblical scriptures. The Bible, the Quran, all holy books go together. The Book of Mormon, all that stuff. The Book of Yasher, all that stuff. Even in the Bible says, didn't you read this in the Book of Yasher with a question mark? We talk about prerequisites. In academia, you have a thing called prereqs. Now, if you have a good aptitude, if you're homeschooled per se, like I have, and others have the pleasure to be homeschooled, you can test out a lot of things. If those have searched academia, Islam. Okay.
That's why James Morris Webb, right? That one.
The Father of Civilization, proven by biblical history. Yep. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Here we come, yo. Here we come.
So as Noble putting that up, I'll read the. Did we do our Moorish American prayer? Okay. So I'm going to read the preface of the author because I like to read introductions, and also, man, as I'm going, I also throw a little message when we were working out this morning about the preface of the Holy Name Bible. When you can get in the Holy Name Bible and read the preface of what the Holy Name Bible is saying, how important what the name is, how important on why it was how can I say it, put on the back burner, and scholars knew this. And this is the talk in academia, no matter what color you are. Islam? Amen. Come on. So here go the preface as Noble is going through it. I have many objections in presenting this book to the public. First, I love my race, regardless of prejudice against her, the inevitable position she holds, and the things she is falsely said to be guilty of. I demonstrate my love for her by launching this book before the public as somewhat of a defense against the prejudice of ancient as well as modern historical writers and lecturers who have misrepresented her and took from her the good deeds and honors that are justly due her. And secondly, I realize that my race has had defenders and has some now, like myself and others, and you, men of my race and men of other races. When I speak about this stuff, y'all, I was on the college campuses. I don't want nobody to be talking about, oh, they lying to us. Bull to the crap. Bull to the crap. I spoke just like this in the college hallways, in classes, and blew them professors' minds. But I am simply presenting this book as a humble race defender in connection with the body of race defenders. And if my theory in this book is accepted as one of the little fingers of this splendid body, I will feel that I have accomplished some results and thus portray the story of the widow's mite. She gave all she had, and I contribute likewise. And thirdly, family, to appreciate my argument, the reader, the student, the philosopher, the truth seeker had best have a Bible at his or her fingertips so as to examine my references and compare them with my statements, which I make wholly and solely upon the authorities found in the Bible that your grandma got on the table. That's my little 2 cents, which is in turn is the real and only authority on ancient history. Again, my authority is not inspired in the slightest degree with malice or hatred for the misnomer white race. My profession as a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, but it never was a J in the Hebrew dialect. We know this. That's why the name is so important when I talk about the Holy Name Bible. If we talk about we're going to call on that holy name, we need to know it. It's power in the name. If you want to see all this stuff, the power, what's the name? Big Dog. That ain't his name. That ain't no holy name. You know me. You say you my brother. You say you touch me. My mom and dad on here. You say I'm your sheik. You say I'm your prophet, the Messiah. My mom and dad on here. You know me. And Jesus Christ would not permit me to defend in the name of justice, harboring malice and hatred, or any ill feeling toward my white brethren. And I am acting with the meek and humble spirit and with a gigantic pride in my race, which I hope pleases the great God. J.M. Webb. Islam? Isn't those beautiful words? Like, come on, we have to do this. It's work that needs to be done. You see, just like when we talk about first century, when I was doing my oral dissertations in college, when I was debunking Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda, and I have that book out too as well, one of the books I gathered and compiled, when people was talking about some goofy Willie Lynch, and I said, ain't no such thing as no Willie Lynch. I said, if it were, show me in the Library of Congress. That's propaganda. Ain't no way, no first century slave wrote about Willie Lynch, nobody, all propaganda. Black wasn't even used in the first century to describe ethnicity. See, these is keys, and this is scholarship. This is not barbershop talk. Education comes from, you say you love education. Education didn't come from Europe. Education came from Salamanca in Spain, Timbuktu. I showed y'all, just like Noble, our new brother, Noble Montez, he got stolen legacy. So the three of the greatest men in American history, this is what the author says. But I have other men that I say great in history. One of the men that I say great in history is not too old, is Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. Another one is Noble Drew Ali. Another is others. That's our IDM books that y'all have, volume 1, 2, and 3, and 4, which I tell y'all my makeup. See, I'm built on a solid foundation. See, I don't destroy it. These is keys. We have many prophets and angels. One of my prophets and angels is Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. That showed y'all that divine pattern. That show you that man is made in the image of Elohim. What man? All man. Islam? Talk to me, man. This ain't no joke. And we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. See, these is keys.
Truth is the key.
Point blank. And the truth will make you free. Frederick Douglass, the thunderbolt, whose mighty peals of thunder awoke the symphony of the Christian men and women of this country in behalf of the enslaved and suffering people. Man, he did it good for the people. And Negroes going to diss everything. I said, we can't do that. This Abraham Lincoln, the flash of lightning, who like a streak of lightning from heaven, giving hope to so-called black people, struck shackles from their hands and left them lying shattered at their feet. This is the author, but I give history. That's why we have to sit and learn. Booker T. Washington, who is nobly directing a never to be forgotten battle for that moral and industrial education, which Douglas and Lincoln made it possible for them to obtain. This is the author. So let's get into the intro. The Bible gives the first and only true account of the origin of mankind. It is the only book containing an accurate record of the progress of man towards civilization. And it is the indisputable reference of all searches after the real facts of the birth of humanity and its progress toward the civilization of today. Beginning with his creation, it is the only authentic record of man, authentic because it's firsthand, not a copy of something else or a scientific or literary review, but a dispassionate record of man's creating and progress, untrimmed, unshaped, and unvarnished to suit prejudice. It would not be a complete record if it did not show with the rest of them the origin of the misnomer black man and woe for all these pinnacle thieves. It shows that he, yes, he, the black man, is the father of civilization. Islam? The black man, whatever, the misnomer black man, whatever you want to say, stay in context, please, has been misrepresented by prejudiced historians and lecturers. It's been, and it's now quoted, that Ham, the father of the black man, was cursed by his father Noah. You heard the story.
Can I say something? I add something to what you
Absolutely, you can, Noble.
So when it says the black man has been misrepresented by, this is a key word. People replace this word with racism. The word is prejudice.
Yeah.
This is the historian. This is the fact right here.
Yep.
Racism doesn't exist. It's a social construct.
Yep.
The actual word is prejudice.
Yep. When they talk about some supremacy, who's supreme over me? No one.
Nobody.
About some white supremacy. I ain't with that. Oh, this white supremacy. Man, I'm not around me. That's nigga talk. Excuse my candor.
Prejudice, most misrepresented by prejudice.
And that can be anybody because we prejudice against ourselves.
Pretty much.
We prejudice against the truth.
Yeah. Islam.
Islam.
So in regards to this incident, we got to take the Bible. We got to take it for its record. And anyone not totally blind with prejudice will be convinced by reading. Get your pencils and your papers, like picture pages, kind of get your pages and your pens. Get your pencils and your papers and read it for yourself. And then don't make it up. Try to arbitrarily explain. You should want to know for yourself. The scripture should be able to speak to you and to make it plain. How plain? For a child can understand it. Get the book of Genesis, the 9th chapter, from the 20th to the 27th verse, inclusive. That Noah did not, for he could not curse Ham, although he did in a fit of intoxication, which Negroes do. They pronounced a curse on Canaan, the son of Ham. For all my Bible, so they say they Christians and we say we love the Bible. I do too. But you got to understand that Canaan was never inconvenienced by no curse of Ham. Think about it.
We read the story, no?
Think about it. Why? He was the father of what? 7 prosperous nations. 7. And foremost among them were what? The Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Phoenicians, same people, and the Sidonians. The Sidonians, that's in your Bible. The Sidonians sprang from what? Sidon, who was the first son of Canaan, according to your Bible, Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 15th verse. And these same Sidonians are the men descended from who? The misnomer black man, who Solomon ordered Hiram of Tyre to engage to do the skill hewing and the designing of the timber work of Solomon Temple. I'm in masonry too. Y'all talk about that in memory of Hiram Abiff. They ain't telling you what it's all about.
You went IDMR.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. I'm telling you, I'm building on solid foundation. Solomon declaring that these Sidonians, these black men, were the only men possessed with anywhere near sufficient skill to take charge of successful completion of the architecture, the timber work of this so-called Solomon's temple. So if we're going to tell a story, I'm just going to tell it. Okay, I'm with it. 1 Kings, the 5th chapter, 6th verse, speaks very plainly of the fact. Solomon knew that the black race was a superior, not an inferior race. Read the story. Didn't he marry Pharaoh's daughter? 1 Kings, 3rd chapter, 1st verse, 7th chapter, 8th verse, also the 9th chapter and the 16th verse. Then Solomon's wife, she could have been as dark skinned or even as black as he was. Because history shows that Egypt had 2 full-blooded Ethiopian pharaohs just before Moors and during the reign of Solomon, according to their writers, Herodotus. And the name of these 2 Ethiopians were Sabako, or Sibikos, and Sidos. So Solomon surely got an Ethiopian or Negro or black woman for a wife. Pertaining to the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
The genealogy.
Come on. The genealogy of Yahshua Messiah. See, these Moors is tripping. We from the tribe of Judah, lineage David by blood. They want to talk about Ruth the Moabitess and Tamar. Well, that's biblical. This genealogy. They done lost, these Negroes done lost their mind. Where they connecting themselves to? Everything they started talking about is Bible. They heart hardened. And it naturally increased the proportion of that so-called Negro blood in the veins of the future king of the so-called Jews. Didn't the Jews rule Spain for 400 years? Where'd they go? You looking at them. Viewing the progress of the immediate descendants of Ham, we learned that a so-called curse laid upon the one by a mortal of that day was as foolish and ineffective as it is today. And the story about this curse, also the story of the black man who contended that a black skin and woolly hair is a disgrace, has, according to the Bible, no foundation, no truth. Just like these NBCs and these people we talk about, oh, the Bible's some white man. Look at who told you that? It ain't nowhere in the Bible. Signs and symbols. You got that from Big Mama.
It is not according to genetics.
Show ain't that. I don't know where they got that from. That's Caesar Borgia, Serapis Christos. They'll tell you. So stop lying on the Bible. Stop it. And speaking of black skin, the greatest brain work and wisdom ever given to this world was given by men of this so-called skin color. Peace, cuz. Or at least, hit me up. In whose veins the greatest portion of blood was Ethiopian or Negro blood. And as to this assertion, and King Solomon, look in the biblical scriptures of Songs of Solomon, the 1st chapter, 6th verse. Solomon's dark skin should cause no surprise. Why? Because his mother, a Hittite, was also the widow of Uriah. See 2 Samuel, the 12th chapter, the 9th and the 10th verse. For my biblical scholars, the Hittites are the descendants of Heth, and Heth was the second son of Canaan. Read in your Bible, Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 15th verse. We're talking about the genealogy of Yahshua the Messiah. What we talking about, Dad?
That's it.
Yeah, they out here playing. Oh, I'm the original people.
According to the scriptures.
Come on, Dad. I'm giving you Bible. You say you love Bible, I'm giving it to you. I can go right in the Bible. I ain't got to go no other place. Bible. And the Quran is saying, and the Quran gonna agree with me.
That's why he said, and beginning at Moses.
At point blank. That's why we the burning bush, Dad. As to the woolly hair that the biblical scriptures tell you, the blessed Savior of mankind will have his head covered with woolly hair when he comes to judge the world. If we're going to talk about prophecy and Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 9th and the 10th verse and all that, and if Daniel's prophecy is true, that when the so-called Christ left the earth, Didn't the so-called Christ, if what they explain had woolly hair, right?
Yeah.
He naturally will return with woolly hair, right?
Right.
What, you gonna come back as an Autobot or a Transformer? You gonna come back as a tree? And the pictures of him today are erroneous conceptions of him by the artist. Just like one of my ancient books is called Russia Icons by Vladimir Ivanhoff. Look that up on Amazon, tell me how much it costs. Stacks. And the grand old book, the Bible, does not show that God ever turned a man black to disgrace him for his sins. Nowhere in there. Nobody can show that crap or anything else. But the Bible that you say you love, it does show that God's power did turn a man white to disgrace him because of his sins, and said that his seed would be likewise forever. And facts are stubborn things and often very disagreeable and sometimes even sickening. And by reading carefully, family, the 5th chapter of the 2nd Kings, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th verses, and many of our highly civilized brethren whose ancient ancestors disgraced them will suffer an alarming fit of nausea. These is facts, man. I'm not making nothing up. We study the scriptures that you have. And among the many low cowardly things that have been said and done against the misnomer Negro during this so-called Christian era. Man, I told y'all, even when I was doing my academia studies, man, didn't I show y'all the Negro a beast? Y'all got that book, all that pseudo stuff. The Negro is a beast. And he tried to be serious with that, thinking it's offering some proof of his assertion. The poor fellow, of course, receives sympathy. It's bull crap. And they be at universities. And then our brothers bring that stuff. And I'm telling you, I was in the belly of the beast. I graduated with my master's degree in 1st century history and religion with a minor in linguistics from Grand Canyon University. And I spoke just like this and graduated with honors. They ain't want me to get all A's, but hey, I had to accept it. I'm like, man, let me leave this crap alone. But that's what it is. You prove your point. And the black man, I boldly assert, y'all. The black man, I boldly assert, was the father of civilization, born in the land of Europe, in Egypt. And the different branches of science, art, were simply transmitted to other races. I'm telling you. And as the ages have rolled, they have only been enlarged and to some extent improved upon. That's all. Just like all no disrespect, all Europeans did in the history books was whitewash history. Read and what is it? In Maccabees, it say the heathen, the Gentile, tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. And then I show you in my ancient book, Rush Icona, where that's what they do. You got a part of history called the whitewashing part of history. This ain't no lie. Even the modern American Negro has proven that he is original. For instance, like my mother, she an artist. They don't have no superiors. And no Negro was ever known to enter a barber college to learn the trade. If not, go look at all the ancient pictures of the brothers over all the continent and see all of the design, how they cut hair, and see if any of them went to barber college. We inherit the sweetest, most musical voices. All the stuff we do. And God honored the misnomer black man by allowing some of his Ethiopian blood to flow in the veins of his only son, Jesus Christ. Come on. Come on, man. And I unhesitantly assert that Jesus, which is Yahshua, because it never was a J in the Hebrew dialect, stay in context, would in America be classified as a Negro. But if he understand who he is, I say you and more. I make this assertion only on the authority of the Bible, according to which Jesus, which is Yahshua, was born out of the tribe of Judah. Are we from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood, Moors? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if some goofy Moors in that, you don't even need to shake their hand, because their hand might be poison. You got to do like my dad said when we be reading historical stuff, and they say when you go to this area, it's all polluted. Don't touch the women, don't touch the coins, don't bring none of their food back, and here your goofy ass come bring one of the animals and kill us all. It's all poison. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. Judah had only 5 children, and they were males. Read your Bible. First Chronicles, 2nd chapter, the 4th verse. Read it in its entirety. 3 by his first wife and 2 by his second wife. First Chronicles, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd and the 4th verse. Fact check me. And both of his wives were descendants of who? Canaan, a black man who was the son of Ham. Read Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 6th verse. Islam, talk to me, somebody.
Yeah.
Come on. We talk about Ruth the Moabitess, Tamar. Okay, well, Tamar, Judah's second wife.
Thyself.
Yes, Dad. Tamar, that was Judah's second wife. Bore him 2 of these sons, whose name were Pharez and Zerah. First Chronicles, 2nd chapter, 4th verse. These 2 names appear in a genealogy, just like my dad was saying, in a genealogy of what? They say Jesus is Yahshua the Messiah in the book of Matthew, 1st chapter, the 3rd verse. So it's no trouble to see that Judah, of whom the Christ was to come, started out by presenting to the world children of Canaanite women who were Hamite descendants. Oh, you want more? The Virgin Mary. You want to talk about that? Of whom Christ was born, was beyond all doubt a woman of the tribe of Judah. Every Bible reference proclaims that the so-called Jesus, which was Yahshua, was to spring from the tribe of Judah, right?
Yep.
See?
Correct.
So anything these Negroes say, we were in the tribe of Judah, well, Jesus is your brother. In that context, Genesis 49:10, Hebrews 7:14, Revelations, the fifth chapter, 5th verse. Our beloved St. Paul tells you in Romans, Jesus was of the seed of what? David, according to the flesh. I said we from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood.
According to the what?
The flesh. And so what these boys, they out here, y'all should be done dealing. We from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. I'm finna give you Bible. Romans 1:3, that Jesus was of the seed of David according to the flesh. I said the same thing. We from the tribe of Judah.
It had to be his father by the seed being planted into the womb.
Come on.
Thanks.
And David is the what? The 10th man, named from what? Judah.
Judah.
In the genealogy of Jesus the Christ, of Yahshua the Messiah. Matthew, the 1st chapter.
Immaculate conception.
Come on. What? You know what's immaculate? I'm about to give it to you. My mama, my dad, boom, they have a baby 9 months. He go me with my pretty eyes and my beautiful skin. Kareem Hakeem Goodman Bay. Immaculate conception. I came out. 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes. Arm, leg, arm, head. Hell. Matthew 1st chapter, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th verse. And added to this, David's great grandfather, Booz, was born of the woman Rahab, who was a direct descendant of Ham. That's Matthew 1st chapter, the 5th verse. Also shows that David, one of God's greatest soldiers, was one who most successfully led his people and one who had Negro blood in his veins. Bible history is full of honors of the black man, Jethro, the Ethiopian or Negro father-in-law of Moses, who was the author who employed that which is today our judicial system, but we know that comes from Mayat and all that. So if we're gonna say this fake, damn it, it's all fake. Take off your goddamn Mayat wings, take off all that shit there. It comes from something considerably twisted and revised to meet the changing conditions of civilization. Exodus, the 18th chapter. And this chapter tells of Jethro's visit to Moses and how he gave Moses the foundation of what is today our system of grading courts. Where do you think he got it from? For pronouncing judgments against Moses, the Hebrew emancipator, was named by a black woman, Pharaoh's daughter. Then she called him Moses because she drew him out of the water. Ain't that what they said?
That's what it says.
Okay, that's Exodus 2:10. And besides, black men educated Moses. And at any rate, he received what education that he had in the schools of black people of Egypt. Read Acts the 7th and the 7th chapter and the 22nd verse. So there is nothing remarkable in the fact when you see Booker T. Washington, brothers like myself, even Du Bois, where people be hating on Du Bois. And I say, hey man, they all did it good. Hell. Scarborough and many other Negro or black men occupying places amongst the foremost and most eminent educators of the world. And why should they not? Why shouldn't I? That's what I went to the university for. Man, sometimes, man, you be looking for Jesus per se, and you find God within because your heart is pure. I've been through the fire. We're supposed to be successful. Everybody's supposed to support. Everybody else is supposed to be sharing this all over. Everybody should be giving donations, learning. And they are descendants from the fathers who ruled Egypt centuries ago. And with the great wisdom laid the foundations of learning. Man, all these people in ancient times, we got to stop letting people take credit and disrespect the ancient people. Man, we have people in churches that spoke the truth. So I'm going to go to page, I'm going to jump to page, the first chapter and just give a little bit. And then we'll get out of here. Because I don't want to go too long. Like I said, about an hour, 15, 20 minutes. Islam, y'all all right? Anybody, everybody temperature okay?
Don't get it in.
That's why Yahshua told you, beginning at Moses. So anybody who wants to study the Bible, if you go to Genesis first, you're making a mistake because you're reading Moses' vision.
Yeah.
So you have to begin in Exodus.
And Dad, and see, you just make it, and it's so funny. I ain't even talked to you in 1, 2, 3 days, and it's so funny because in class we just talking about that. How can a person say they know something, Dad, and they don't know the fucking pattern? Well, you can't tell me about nothing. You ain't got the pieces to the puzzle. You gonna tell me you know something? You don't know everything is a pattern.
Did God tell Moses to make everything according to the pattern that I showed you?
Yes, sir. Yep. Everything, even the tabernacle built with hands, everything inside, from the curtains to everything. He told him to build it. Why? To symbolize man. To symbolize man, from the curtains and everything, to symbolize man. Everything in the tabernacle built with hands symbolize your body inside. That's why IDMR is so powerful. When I talk about Dr. Kinley, my makeup, everything in the Bible, when we talk about the tabernacle built with hands, everything from the curtains to everything in the furniture to everything symbolizes the body. I'll break it down. We break it down in the next class, in the DAP class. But that time changes all things. And it's a saying so old and so true as to admit of no argument. It is amplified in so many different ways as to require no comment. And yet, when we hear the phrase used glibly and thoughtlessly every day, it is but natural to wonder if the one who uses it realizes what he or she is saying, or rather, if he or she knows what those few commonplace words mean when used to form the sentence.
No.
Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, it is a foregone conclusion that he does not. He never stopped. He, of this enlightened age, long enough to examine even a little of the abundance of indisputable proof that the same time changes all things, applies to things and conditions, seldom if ever present, to his own narrow mind and far away and beyond, even his meaner and low prejudice influence. If he, yeah.
Talk about himself being prejudiced.
Yes. If he did, his retrospective move would, before carrying him back to the very beginning, suffer something of a shock. So keep this in your hippocampus, man. So when we hear or when we read the saying of some of our misnamed great men, but in reality, disgustingly conspicuous public figures, we are fully justified in making the charge of falsifying and concealing such facts as they are not really ignorant of. See, me and my dad talk about this all day. Come on, all this stuff is old. They talk about they know law and they tucking this black stuff and we black men, we know law. And all them people was hating on Obama. And Obama told you he wasn't black. And Obama told you all this. All them Negroes, even though like Cornel West, all them people that be hating on Obama and all that. And then would they be having European wives? And they don't be doing nothing. And they be teaching at European universities. And so you always got to look at when you point one finger, a million coming back. So our own people do this.
Our own people.
Yes.
A self.
And one of these conspicuous public characters delights in making the assertion that the Hamite Ethiopian or the Negro never amounted to anything or possessed anything, never occupied an immense safe to which the Semitic or the white man had dragged or driven him up to. And I'm telling you from scholarship, all that anti-Semitic stuff. See, if Nick Cannon would like, and my professor, we talked about this in class. When Professor Griff, when they was talking about, we had Professor Griff on there, and then Nick Cannon had to apologize. And my professor is a European a priest, and he was like, man, Nick Cannon should have reached out to you, and you wouldn't have had to apologize. Because he's like, because I would have backed you up. This is my professor, a European, a Jew, a European potentate. You just be telling the truth because I got their books. I'll use all their ammo, show you where anti-Semitic come from, show you all this, show you what they say, 13 tribes, show you all this stuff, the International Jew, show you more history in their Jewish encyclopedias, and then I'll rest my case. It would be no rebuttal because I'm not coming from hate.
It's made of hogwash.
Yes, because I'm not coming from hate. I'm using your book. Now what you gonna say? Nothing. See? And that's a harsh.
And that's only in the United States too, though.
I know. And the symphony would be wasted for a great deal of the self-asserted enlightenment of today. And much of the so-called wisdom is self-praise for successful concealing. I told y'all, people, you don't want to be have notoriety, because notoriety is being known for the wrong thing or for something bad. I don't want notoriety. I want to spread this message, and this message costs. And this shouldn't cost, and people shouldn't be have a problem if this is what you want, because this is part of who the great God made us. They concealing, or at least
what we need.
Yes, Dad. Yes, absolutely. Spiritual workout, and then they hide historical facts, which sucks mystery, as to place the descendants of Shem upon an immense, which is not justly. He is, and makes him, in his own opinion, appear much larger than what he really is. And yet with all the egotism, some knowledgeable and some knowledge of the true origin of mankind exists. And it is this knowledge that causes the falsifying and hiding, and much as possible, the true historical records, especially of the misnomer black man. And it cannot be said that the learned historical writers, the great divines, the theological students, and the lecturers of today are ignorant of the true history of Ham, the sons of Noah, and the history of such as Nimrod. They always try to put a negative connotation on Nimrod, the founder of the great and ancient city of Babylon, and also Menes, the first king of Egypt, and the founder of the great ancient city of Memphis. There you go. Memphis and Mizraim, another part of our science, masonry. But isn't it so funny, man, that people try to get us so caught up with false stuff? Just like Khalid Muhammad. He told you I'm a Moor, and I know I'm a Moor. But then when I showed the lecture, when he debated a lawyer that called himself a Christian preacher, the Bible tells you right off top, woe to you lying lawyers that confuse my word. Just because you some lawyer, like that means something. Man, just because you a lawyer, you under the British Annotated Registry. You get ready to come and lie to me off the dribble. Just because you a lawyer don't mean you know law. Who you think you fooling? And then come, and that's why I tell people, you want to come and talk about, Jesus is a white man. And that's what he tried to come with that bullshit. Not from the Bible. How can you say that? And then want to jump all around. If color don't matter, well, if color don't matter, why you put so much work in to destroy the image?
Yeah.
If color don't matter, let's just leave it how it is. Based if what the story, put the image there. If color don't matter. And Ripas says that the traditions of antiquity points to Memphis and Babylon as the fountains of human wisdom. And if those above named are ignorant of the history of the last named, they are doing the world a great injustice in assuming the position of teacher and leader. If they are familiar with the history of the races and the deeds of men, they will, no doubt, have for them and their kind good and sufficient reasons for making false and misleading statements as to some historical records and totally forgetting or demeaning others. Let's deal with it. We almost done. An early queen of Egypt was a descendant of the Ethiopian or Negro race. This is conceded by some of the modern writers, some of them going so far as to say that her skin was very black. And a few of them acknowledged that it was this black queen who placed the first fleet of warships on the River Nile. They have no doubt traced this woman back to where they are satisfied that she was descended in a direct lineal line from Zipporah, the black and Ethiopian wife of Moses.
Hello.
Hello.
Imagine.
I mean, they want to tell a story. And we read very little of these two women because modern writers seek to obscure them. And our ministers of the gospel never preach or lecture on the part of the Bible in which they mention. What you say, Nova?
I said, isn't that where they take and try to put the man above the woman instead of side by side?
Yep. Or they just destroy the whole lineage. To throw your lineages and your makeup. They praise all these figures like the Black Madonna, all these other figures, all the history where it's the same figure all over, praying the mother and child, the Asiatic. It's destroying the mother and child.
Period.
It's in your mother nation, the single mom thing.
Yep. So is.
It talks about it in the book of Joshua too.
Say it again, Solomon.
It talks about Moses' wife in the book of Joshua.
Yep.
When he escaped to Ethiopia and he became a king down there.
Yep. Might know would be in them studies.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yes, sir, Dad. I'm telling you, point blank, Solomon. And so when people be talking all that magical mumbo, they not initiated. And we don't have to be braggadocious or known for notoriety. We plant a seed and walk away. See how simple that is? That's why they destroyed and try to say, oh, it's not canon. Who? Man, please. For you don't know the whole, you don't have all the pieces of the story.
I ain't telling you, well, you're not canon, I am too.
Yep. And in the book of Yasher, it tells you that these are prerequisites. You know what a prerequisite mean, right?
Yeah. Required.
So you shouldn't even be in there before you even jump in. You might as well go have a seat. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you read very little of them because if they do, they must give credit to the black people. Stay in context. In this connection, I do not speak of biblically history only. Were if not for the fact that the dimensions of this book, this is the author, would be extended far beyond what was intended. I could begin with Hannibal. When they be talking about when that Negro-centric propaganda was out, talk about Africa was named after a European, we already illuminated that, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a video out and everybody bought that and them people made millions off of that? Well, them was misnomer black people that put that out. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Islam.
Okay. So stop talking about why them people put that out, knowing that was pseudo Negro-centric propaganda. And the European will laugh at you. Like, they're all gonna laugh at you. Yep. That's what happens. Point blank. This is no slander. I could begin with Hannibal, the Carthaginian, the Phoenician, the general, and record the accomplishments of black men without the intervening of any long periods of time, down to the time of Alexander Dumas. What's his Toussaint Overture, Alexander Servet, remember Alex Pushkin, the Russian author, right?
Right.
Okay, a poet. I can even do more. I can go into the borders of this republic.
You got a statue of him in Russian.
Yeah,
Because he didn't want to save the language by writing Russian and poetry.
yeah,
That's why they put him so Afrikaan, because his grandfather was from Africa, the continent of Africa.
yeah. Who you think who discovered Chicago?
Islam.
Y'all don't know?
Oh, Alex Pushkin?
No? His statue right in there. You go downtown Chicago, get right down there. You see it right there by the water, right there. Big statue of the Moor.
Who was Alex Cushing or Alexander Hamilton?
The theologian?
Yep. It's a statue of him there. It's a statue of him in the Shire. I got a picture of him when I was way bigger. I got a picture of him. My wife got in her phone back when I was like 250, when I was just big. We was in Chicago. I got a picture right in front of it. And it's there. We could talk about Crispus Attucks or Alexander Hamilton. Record the accomplishment of the same black descendants of Ham down to this day. This modern record will contain many references to both the War of Independence and the War of the Rebellion. Just like when I show y'all, man, how they whitewashed Oliver Cromwell and Peter Salmon out the Battle of Bunker Hill. Remember I showed y'all that?
Yeah.
And the book that they give you in academia, that 1774 book, they whitewashed it out of history. I did that in college, had them professors mind blown.
Photoshop.
Yeah. They took him right out. Boom. And then the European, his name is Alec Beck or something. He was on TV. I was showing my dad, and all them black people there in the maze. And my professor was like, "But you did this years ago." And I said, "Well, it's all good. At least people seeing it now."
Wow.
And you also mentioned a great many black men who can never forget L. Cheney, San Juan Hill. Besides the heroes of war, modern history is all filled with names of black men famous in peace, of their accomplishments in science and letters. I got a book that's on my page, all scientists and in history. I got that. Look at it. Mind-boggling stuff. People don't even know about it. Educators. Space won't even permit us to dwell upon the men and their accomplishments, towering obstacles in spite of which they succeeded, which we succeed. And we could not fail, however, to mention Frederick Douglass, who was one of the greatest statesmen ever, right? He was born a slave. Washington was also born a slave and one of the greatest educators the world ever known. As to many other great things black men have done during this era. I cannot fail to mention the North Pole, for if human beings have stood on the spot claiming as the North Pole, the black man was preceded by no one. And I speak of Mr. Matt Henson. Research this. His name is Matt Henson, the Negro. I got the books. Who, if indeed the pole ever was reached, was one of the first of the only two to date to reach it.
Hey, Nova, real quick.
Yes.
The book, the PDF you sent us has these in it.
Yep. Yep.
Those right there. So we can't read what you read. I can't pull it up.
Oh, I got the original for you. Good. You good? I got all the other for you. That's fine.
All right.
But as we close, the truth in term Caucasian has little or no meaning as it is now used. The word itself is a conventional term given at first by Bloomback to designate what he considered the highest type of the human family, shown by a skull from Mount Caucasus. And when we attempt to trace those who could claim the name as an expression of their superiority, we find the type has disappeared, and there is no pure specimen now in existence. And if we ask what is white, we can only say that is a term used to designate the absence of color. That is all, and no sign whatever of race integrity. We have already indicated that science and investigation point to the fact that primitive man was not white. Man, even Albert Churchward signed the symbols of the primordial man. Y'all got that? Y'all need to get that. It is no new theory, but it has seemed convenient for the Saxon to let it rest as much as possible in discreet oblivion. Bishop H.M. Turner of the African Methodist Episcopal Church has often promulgated in his own inevitable way. And Moncure D. Conway has also declared, and this is their words, that the white people of the world today are only a reflux leprosy, and that the natural color is brown or black. Man, they tell your children in school that the color spectrum comes from white to dark. That's false.
Yeah. True that.
No way possible.
Because without color, what is this? Darkness, right?
I mean, but that's why the Bible says in the beginning the world was dark. It be dropping nuggets.
That means lack of everything else.
So I just want us to know that even on page 16, man, any questions, it tell you. Ham, the father of the black man located in Africa. Africa was his homestead to speak. David in Psalms created Ham with the territory in 105th Psalms, 23rd, 27th verse, and also 106 Psalms, just all Bible, 22nd verse. And now if this is not true, and we reject it on ground of not being sufficient proof of the black man's first and original home, we can on quite as good ground reject any and every other part of the Bible. For what I here state is no wild imagination, but facts taken from the Bible. Cush, Mizraim, Hut, and Canaan were the first sons of Ham. Genesis, the 10th chapter, 6th verse. And these 4 sons, including Nimrod, the grandson of Ham, were the first to start work on the problem of civilization. In a word, they were the pioneers and the very pillars of civilization. Cush, located in South Egypt on the river Nile, he became the father of the Ethiopians, as well as the father of the Cushites through Nimrod, whom located on the southern part of the Euphrates River. It is to be remembered that Nimrod is the founder of the Babylonian kingdom, Genesis 10th chapter, 10th verse, and Mizraim, located on the upper part of the river Nile. And he became the father of the Egyptians. Hut, located in the northern part of Africa. Canaan, located in the land known as the Old Palestine country, which is modern Turkey. Canaan became the father of the Canaanites. That's in your Bible, Genesis, the 10th chapter, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 verse, y'all. So according to the Bible, the above is the exact location of the first sons of Ham. And the question which naturally follows is, was civilization born in their land and given birth by Ham's first offspring? Look at this. Oh, come on. It's conceded by John Clark Rippon and a few other writers on ancient history that the Egyptians were the fathers of civilization. See, this is how you can fact check the Europeans and how they double talk. Watch this. Check this out, y'all. Listen to the ear. They say that okay, on ancient history, the Egyptians were the father of civilization. This the European John Clark Rippon. According to the chronology of Matthew, an Egyptian priest, Egypt was founded in the year BC 3892, and Menes was the first mortal king. Okay, the all-important question now arises: were the Egyptians descendant of black men, or were they descendants of white men? Which one?
Black man.
Okay, come out. This is no hate. Were the descendants of Ham or Shem?
Damn.
Okay. So is it well known that students claim to be divided in their opinion as to the original stock from which the ancient Egyptians came? So Rippon, among others, say they were neither Semitic nor Negro. Okay, so let's deal with that. But concludes his remarks on the origin of the Egyptians by saying that the ancient Egyptians were considered a branch of that part of the Cushite family, which settled in Asia. Okay. We fact checking them. That's why they just be double talking. Probably the little matter of the Cushites being the grandchildren of Ham, that slipped the European over. See, this ain't checkers, this checkmate. That's why if you go to court, they're gonna look at you, they be like, man, you ain't even fact check who this man is. You're getting ready to get locked up playing with this man. Cause he already done fact checked it. I mean, so when you trying to do something, yes, go ahead.
I was like, can you repeat that and just say that one more time? You mean,
Okay, I'm gonna go all the way, reverse. Okay. So they agreed. Were the Egyptian descendants of black men or were they descendants of white men? We know the answer. Were they descendants of Ham or Shem? We should know the answer. This is the Bible. It is well known that students claims to be divided in their opinion as to the original stock from which the ancient Egyptians came. So the European writer, Rippon, and among others, our own brothers and sisters that deny the truth, they say they preaching the truth. says they were neither Semitic nor Negro, but concludes his remarks on the origin of the Egyptians by saying that the ancient Egyptians were considered a branch of the part of the Cushite family, which settled in Asia. But probably the little matter of the Cushites being the grandchildren of Ham slipped the European mind, slipped in these goofies' mind.
Slipped it, huh? Oh,
See-
I forgot.
You can't forget. How you gonna forget the lineage like my dad just said? How? How? It's a replacement. And people lost in mistranslation. And his statement,
Take your place.
yep. And his statements would not have been so conflicting because he just says that they were not Negroes, but ends his argument by saying that they were a branch of the Cushite family of Asia. Okay, let's continue to fact check. See, I love the biblical scriptures. It requires no laborious research to establish the fact that the Cush was the father of all Cushite nations. He was also the first son of Ham. Genesis 10th chapter, 6th verse. Now then, if the Ethiopians and all other Cushite nations who sprang from this first son of Ham were not Negroes, will some of his historians omit the word probably so much used by them and say what they were? It is fair to assume, see, and our own people, it's fair to assume that with their boast intelligence and superior brain power, by this time.
So isn't that synonymously the same as, the so-called in modern day, what we call as white people, they hating themselves too?
Yes. Well, and then I agree. I agree to yes, but in academia, when people say this hidden, yes, I agree to disagree. But don't they say everybody study us? This is what's been talked about. So I agree to disagree. They don't have a history per se. So this is their history. They have blood in them. So they study in the history. That's why I be telling people you don't know what type of blood a person in by when you're looking at them face value. You can't do that. It's only one history. It's only one truth.
The public, they're denying themselves as far as history is concerned.
Yeah.
The public, they're not making it known, even though they do know, but they just playing dumb.
Well, and it's not their job. That's why the scripture says, give Caesar back what is. It's not their job. It's their job to do exactly what they're doing. It's our job to do this. That's why I never put my job on nobody else. I'm right here. I never be like, oh, well, I ain't teaching us because they ain't supposed to, damn it. I'm supposed to be teaching you.
Yeah, we asked for it too. That's the code for
Well,
it.
can I add something real quick, Sheik? Can
Yes,
I
sir.
say that to what Sheik said? It's our job. We're not forcing them to be honest,
Right.
right?
Oh,
So
indeed.
if we operate in the space that we're supposed to be in, it won't allow for a space for them to be dishonest.
There you go.
So they won't have to play. They won't. It just life will conform because we'll be operating in a space where we'll all just know this is the lion and the lamb. If we all just understood, and especially if us, that's why he hammers on us. If we as more get ourselves together and we get our understanding, and then we don't have to really be mad and operate anywhere. We can change the way they're operating because they'll see us and go, shit, that's what I've been studying anyway. So, I guess I don't have to play around and act goofy anymore because they're being honorable. So thus, I might as well get in line because that's my only role anyways. But if they're not going to be honorable, then don't turn around and point the finger at me and talking about, well, you ain't living right. It's like, well, you're not living right. Like, you get yourself right, and then I'm going to be as honorable as I'm supposed to be. Islam.
That's why they were the things in clandestine.
A certain family has to get it first.
Yep.
Remember, he was chosen. If you're chosen, that means those chosen ones have to respond first before anybody else. If we're the descendants of Yahshua and David, we're the ones who transgressed, not them, because it wasn't given to them. It was given to us.
Right.
Islam, Dad. When they talk about eternal, who ain't nobody did us, and that's the same thing. I say, what do you talk about? It always be us. We give our own, just like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. I say the Big Mac. You're gonna let somebody. You're gonna compete with somebody that don't even have nothing to offer. Why? And that's the thing. We compete with something that we have no reason to, and then arguing with the way they teach it. arguing with their stuff. And all we got to do is conform to our own brothers and sisters that's teachers like myself. And I don't even know others, but myself, I got to talk about me. Who else going to blow the horn and sit in my car? I got to talk about myself. What? Come on.
To BB.
And so it's in the, I don't want to go too much longer with the teachings, but it's there, man. All this stuff is in the Bible. Cush, Mizraim, all that stuff. Cush located in South Africa. It don't require no whole bunch of work, man. The first sons of Ham were Negroes. Some of our historians won't tell you. They won't tell you. And they can research this and recurs of the Bible, which leaves no room for no doubt. We learned at the Bible that Ham is the father of the African family. The Ethiopian is the darkest or blackest tribe of the Hamites. Cush was the founder of the father of the tribe. Moses selected his wife from the black or Ethiopian tribe. That's in Numbers, the 12th chapter, first verse. It must be plain to anyone who will read the parts referred in the Bible that the European Ripat's contention that the Egyptians sprang from the Cushites was the wrong avenue to escape the blood of the Negro. He went down the wrong street, found all of us right there, went down another street, found us again. What you looking for?
Us.
See? Or their relation to the black man's family. And I believe, however, Ripatz wrote in good faith, for the majority of the historical writers claim that the Egyptians descended from a white race, notwithstanding they admit that the Old Testament gives the truest, the most complete and reliable record on the origin of the Egyptians of any other book. So it's not unnatural to believe that their opinions are influenced by racial prejudice. Come on. It's there. The Bible, Egypt, mankind. You can prove it. Hamites sprang from Mizraim. Mizraim is Egypt in the Bible. Y'all know that, right?
Yep.
You see how much fact check this is? According to the Bible Gizat, that's like your Bible dictionary. Like when I talk about the Hebrew lexicon, when I be telling y'all kumbaya don't mean no come by here, it means stand up and arise. The word Egypt is derived from the word Mizraim. And this word Mizraim was the name of one of the first sons of Ham. Read it. It's in Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 6th verse. Checkmate. Say checkmate.
Checkmate.
Okay, so listen by this. By the word Egypt being coined from the word Mizraim, it strengthens my contention that the Egyptians were descended from the black man. And you can dig down further into the rich earth and prove more enlightenment out of the book of truth. The ancient Bible map of Africa and Asia, which map can be found in any back of your New Testament. And you can really pick it out. Spots upon which Shem, Ham, and Japhet located. Look at it. And then one white, one with black. How they gonna be different? They got the same parents. That's another dumb Negro mess people come up with too. That's asinine. You can make any color. Ham and Japhet first located. Look on your Bible map, and you will notice that Mizraim, the second son of Ham and the accredited father of the Egyptians, located on the very spot, so to speak, where the great city of Memphis was built by means. Look at it. The first king of Egypt. And again, you will notice that all the names within African borders are names of the sons of Ham, Shem and his offsprings, located in Asia. Look at it. And perhaps a better way to locate Ham, Shem, and Japhet and their first offsprings is first to read the 10th and 11th chapters of Genesis, then locate their names on the map, and it will be seen that not a Shemite, no disrespect, or a white man originally located in Africa. All of the white men located in Asia, and according to the Bible, white men never began to travel in Africa until Abraham's time in BC 1921. Read your Bible. The Egyptians lived in a high state of civilization near 2,000 years before Abraham's first visit to Egypt. And the appearance of white people was a circus and a curiosity to the black people. Abraham realized this fact and commanded his wife to represent herself as his sister. Remember? Because as he said,
Egypt, yeah.
Come on. Remember?
But
He said,
was his sister.
remember? He said she was fair to look upon. She was fair to look upon. White. Genesis, the 12th chapter, 11th, 12th, 13th verse. And this will indicate that the Egyptians were not white. And I will say without fear of my assertion being disproven that until after the time of Abraham, the Egyptians were a Simon pure black race, black as gypsies. Shortly after Abraham's visit, the Shemitic or white travelers began to pour into Egypt. to such an extent that the Egyptians began intermarrying with them. And of course, this intermarrying had its effects on contaminating the pure Negro blood. And this intermarrying was the cause of the black man or full-blooded Ethiopian losing the power of control in their own kingdom. In other words, remember, the son only do the business of the mother, right?
Yeah.
That's the daughter of the American Revolution. That where the wife has with the gold tassel. This is no slander. The European agree with me. This is the loop through which the shepherd or the white or the Shemitic king slipped through and took possessions of Egyptian kingdoms. And I'll stop right there.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Any questions?
No question. That was pretty clear. they got references and chapters if you're not sure.
I mean, I don't know what the argument be. I know people not reading, just like me and my dad said. I know Moors don't study. Man, I had a temple out here. My dad, I'm glad my dad is on here. My dad dark like me, and my dad probably was darker because he was livid with them goofies. He like, son, you just got to go through it and see, you know. And I'm telling you, how can you be a Moor and don't have the Moor's Quran? How can you be a Moor you don't study? How can you be a Moor don't have? How can you be studying anything that you say you profess and don't even have the manual that you say you profess? How can you say you know something and don't have a map and a guide? And our teachings say that we should have a map and a guide. This is the type of spirituality we under. This is the type of Islam we under. A map and a guide.
I don't know how they can. I mean, they can move their mouth to say it, but it don't mean nothing.
I mean, even with education, and I said, I'm transparent with everybody. I've been through the fire in ministry. All ministry. I'm from Flint, Michigan. All the older people say, "Sheik, you got to get your own because your fire and your passion. You teach the truth." And they like most of these preachers don't study and know the Bible. They just up there nigga talking. Excuse my candor. This is what the older people used to say to me. I love the scriptures. I teach, man. I got a whole book of sermons. I am the Bible. I'm a Moorish divine minister and sheik. I have to speak gospel. That's the only way I'm gonna touch people. A person that don't care about history and education, I can touch them with the love of God. Period. Forget all the education. Forget all that smart stuff. Man, I can touch you with God. And God can give you something and push you to the other point. That's why we the burning bush. That's why I'm saying the importance of this. Understanding that God is first. And the divine come first. No other way if you are Moor. If you dissing the divine, you're not studying more science because the divine comes first. Period.
Islam.
And so we're not here to diss nothing. We just made it plain. If you are Moor, you from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. Your fez is not no Muslim hat. This is your national headdress. And if you don't know what it means and represent, I hope you should come and study and be a student and learn and be anointed and consecrated before we just out here be playing, walking around, being stupid. And you trade your and you trade your fez for a Big Mac.
We must self-identify.
Come on, Dad.
Can anybody tell us who we are? We have to tell you who we are.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it. Like me and my dad talk, and we tell people, I say, man, that's okay, whatever, but I know who I am. I'm going to tell you. You're not going to put me on, but I'm going to tell you from history, and I'm going to make it plain for a child can understand it. That's why I say we make it so plain for a child to understand. If you like law, you like history, but we make it plain for a child to understand it. If you don't pick it up and accept it, you are rejecting yourself. There's no other way. There's no other way. So I give gratitude for everybody that joined us. Like I said, those that gave a donation, you know what literature will get. If you gave the Cash App $KGBay, the donation, please leave your email in there for I can get you the books. We have a DAP class every Saturday and Sunday, and we ask for small donations to Cash App $KGBay. But if you want literature, I told y'all the donation for the literature. Do we have any questions, Morris? We good?
Absolutely.
Man, thanks, Dad, for being here, man, for being that cover. Gratitude for being a quiver. But, man, I love Noble Drew Ali, man. Like I said, that's one of the prophets. But I always have to give credit to Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. That lecture I gave y'all Saturday in the DAP class, the true meaning of alcoholism, that's my makeup. And if Noble Drew Ali and Dr. Kinley was right here sitting, then both of them would be giving me a hug right now.
But Dr. Kinley came a decade after Noble Drew Ali.
Yep, a decade after. And that's why we got to hold up our figures. Dr. Kinley did the work, showed you that man was made in the image of Elohim. Noble Drew Ali showed you that in nationality and said what type of what we have for ourselves. You got to have those two. We're not Crips and Bloods. We build on solid foundation. And so that's why I share those texts. Those IDMR texts, you can't get those from nowhere. Those charts, those maps, man, that changed your life. What people want more that can get that and break down the Bible based on some charts? And we all got those texts and look at that pertaining to the body. You have to have a map and a guide, because people can look at those IDMR books, and Malik and Lamar can attest to it. If you need to be guided, because I had to be guided. My guide's right there. I had to be guided through that for you. I'm not no 1 year, no 2 year, years. My dad is a doctor in divinity, so this was the part of homeschooling I had to be, brought up on. And it's my solid foundation. I always had to come back to my foundation. Always. Just like the Abramelech and the Magi, those ancient books. I don't know if y'all got those. You don't have to destroy your makeup. You got to know who you are. It ain't no lucky magic foot. It's only one law. It's only one science. And it all synchronizes.
There's only one truth.
Yes. And the truth will make you free. Gratitude, man. Gratitude for the spirit, man. I'm full, man. I saw my dad. I saw everybody here. Everybody good. I'm excited for our Morris Ball coming up, man. We're going to have a Morrisly great time. And like I said, man, let's just keep spreading the word, man, and just being positive and being light to everybody. And they see us. And they're going to see us. And as we continue to grow, I give everyone gratitude. I give even everybody on YouTube, I give y'all gratitude for taking time out your day. Even if you gave a donation or not, I give thanks for listening to me for that time, because I want this to spread and spread it to your friends. But when you get into a better situation and Allah put it on your heart and you want to give a little something for the time, whatever you give, I don't care if it's $5, I'm going to give you the literature if that's all you have, because I believe you being just. Islam?
Islam. Islam.
Let's do our Moorish American prayer and get out of here.
Islam.
Is Alonzo here to do our benediction afterwards too? If not, I think he is there. Or somebody can do it if Alonzo not here. I think he is though.
Islam. Islam, Noble.
Peace, Noble.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our guide, our protector, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashe, Shalom Alakim, Islamism, peace, peace, peace. Brother Alonzo, take us home.
Speech. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shalt strive to be a credit to Allah. We make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil one. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield and the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key of salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature's weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, our age, and give everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad, Islam, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And that BBT, when we say Al, that means the truth. And when we say Ya Muhammad, that means the protector. And we stand as truth protectors. So we call out to all true light to stand with us in truth, because the truth is one, as man is with Allah. The truth has no sides. Islam. With that we say peace, and love. Peace.
Peace. Dad, I'm gonna hit you in a minute, Dad. Love y'all.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna call you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.